So that's totally lovely. So yeah, the introduction to the incorruptible body. that is that is great. I'm really happy to start this and to because these are subjects or these are ideas that you are probably, yeah, familiar with. You've heard about it, or maybe you yeah, you have a lot of experience with it, or who knows. That's all great. That's all great. So it's like the incorruptible body was something that I looked for instance, in the books of Joel, and there was not one reference to it, and that was remarkable to me. And also, like, well, this it is a great say subject or idea to dive into, not just out of curiosity, but because there has been a lot of confusion about it, or related ideas, confusion about that too. Like, how does this story with Jesus' resurrection actually work? What about this body, and what about this resurrection and the ascension and transfiguration? Like, how actually never even took a good look at it, or took time to stand still with it. That is what you might think, what you might have as idea. So anyway, it was something that came to me through, say, seeing that the body as we know it, it's like the body as you are familiar with it, as it says in the course too, it's like it is neither corruptible nor incorruptible. Like, don't forget, it's an illusion. Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah. Well, that's I can get that. It's the same with another idea. It's like, as Jesus says, like, I'm not of this world. Like, my kingdom is not of this world. Like, oh yeah, wait a minute. This is not just getting a better dream, or getting more comfort in my dream, or anything like that. No, it has nothing to do with that even. Now what? How are we going to do this? So my idea that came to me was this. It's like, let's start very basic, very much looking at the fundamentals again, just like we do in the basic teaching of Jesus Christ. It's like, let's just take another look at this, and stand still even more to not miss anything in relationship with how to look at this, and how to relate to it, how to experience it, how to come to it, and to find yourself, say, aligned with it. So that's already a lot of words and a lot of things. That would be a huge program. So I discovered too, and this was something that happened this morning when I was reading something, like coming into a direct experience of what I read, I'm not able to express it. So this immediately there it stops too. It's like, I cannot explain anything in that sense. I cannot explain something that is revealed to me. Now, what am I going to do? So it's interesting. So let's see how this works out. Let's see how this works out. So I made something, and say a whiteboard. I made a whiteboard, and this time not for you to make a drawing on or put up your words, but actually to use it almost like as an presentation. And because we have to start at the beginning, and so if the fundamental ideas about yourself that you held on to as a human being, for instance, if that isn't clear, that you're doing that, then we already missed that too. So we have to start at the beginning, is what I'm saying. So this is a beginner's course in resurrection, really. And starting with the very, very first thing, and that's the idea of an objective reality. It's like, and basically nobody is thinking that it's not an objective reality, thinking that some things are done to you, that you have different objects, that there's different persons, some you like, some you don't like, and all this. It's like the whole objective setup as you know yourself, as you know it. You relate to that during some time of the day, or maybe 23 hours and 55 minutes per day. So these 5 minutes that you come out of that during your meditations, for instance, suddenly you see, oh yeah, wait a minute, there's something else. Now I remember. This. So this happens, and that's all right. So we're not here to judge any of that. No, it's all part of the process. And so giving clear insight about this is what you call objective reality. This is how you look at yourself. This is the consequences. These things are going on in your human dream. Let's take a look at that first before we do anything. Because you say like, yeah, well, I know all about humanhood. I'm here for some real spiritual teaching. And I say, yeah, of course. But let's start at the beginning and not skip a beat, not skip a step, and making it so fundamental that it's actually great to look at it that way in order to move further, not to stay there, but to move further, at least to recognize, okay, this is going on. At least this has been going on, and I'm very much aware that I fall into that. So here we are. This is my life in the objective dream world, and my life, objective dream world. Here is other bodies, mom and dad, or who knows how. Suddenly there's you, a little you that's being born, and this little you is growing up. You call it me. This is me. This is me. And this is me on my life path, my life path. I got a friend. I got an enemy. You can't read it below, but hey, I don't know why that happened. We'll see. There's a body, that's me. I have friends. I have enemies. I live my life on this, I live my life. And this is how that looks. So, okay, so my main concern is safety. This is where I spent a lot of time on my safety. I can make it a bit bigger. So I hope you can see this. So my main concern in my human life is my safety. So I invent a house. I do this. I do that. I have a house. I have a fence around the house. I have a car with a garage so that nothing can happen to it. I have my insurances. I have my securities. I do everything I can to survive in my objective world. And so that is my main concern, my safety, because imagine that something would happen to me. So there's a world out there that can do all kinds of things with me, and that can, sometimes it appears to be very dangerous, and things are happening that I really don't like. So then here, the guiding rule for everything is comfort. I want to be comfortable. I want to sit in a good chair. I want to have nice clothes. I want to do all the things that I do. All my decisions are really on my comfort. Oh, leave me alone. I need a room for myself. I'll be quiet. yeah, I don't like those neighbors in my neighborhood or stuff like that. As a human being, all these things. But honestly, looking at it, comfort is the guiding rule. Safety is the main concern. All right, so here we are in the next phase. The attributes, one of the attributes is that I really value is money. So here we go. Here's my cycle of the day, so to speak. I need more money. I work to get more money. I'm doing senseless things to get more money and to get more senseless things that I toss away because I actually don't even need them. But I'm forgetting that. And at least I can call them my senseless things. Like they're my things, and I protect them and I keep them for myself, to use them for myself. And no, nobody should touch that. It is mine. And I need more of them too. So I need more money, and I work to get them doing senseless things. And so this is like a normal cycle of a lot of human beings, so to speak. Obviously, I'm the dream. This figure walks around in it and is being affected by everything, and it's not easy. And the central figure in this is the body. Like the central figure is the body, and all kinds of things have effect on me in this dream. Like I become the whole dream. Everything is affecting me. The world I live in, I am the dream. What is happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Are questions that are popping up. So this appears to be an objective reality as a human being. So I scroll back to the beginning. Oh yeah, we forgot a step. So there's a timeline too. Being born here, spending some time in doing all these things that I showed you below, keeping up my safety and going for my comfort. But then in the end, what I discover is, oh my God, this is the end. This is the end. This ends. So I don't need to do all these senseless things anymore. And finally it becomes a relief for me to go and leave this all behind, even though I try not to let that happen first. But I'm actually successful if I end up like this. As a human being, I'm successful if I die. That is the objective world. Well, we might as well know it. So this is how you as a human being see yourself. As a human being, you see yourself as this whole thing where you're in, like you're the whole dream. Everything is affecting you. You seem to have no control over any of it. And it's, yeah, it is something that you carry with you as a real prison where you cannot escape out of, like that. So this is good to know, right? It's good to know that you look like at that as a human being like that. And you think that's normal, you think that's normal. So you place yourself in it. You accept that as your reality. So as long as you do that. So in this awakening process, and that's the next thing, like in this awakening process, I will pull that up later. In this awakening process, you see that this whole idea of objective reality is not what it appears to be at all. Like it's based on perception, it's based on your understanding of how everything works, but it has nothing to do with reality. So this is, of course, very quickly expressed this way. But like you become aware that the dream is not what you are, even though it appears that you have an existence, a life, you call it your life, that you have to do something in order to survive and to work at it, to have income, to do all kinds of things in order to sustain yourself. You become aware that you are doing that, but you're wondering, like, does this need to go this way? Do I need to stay in it like this? Is this really all that there is? No. Well, you come to the point where you recognize, no, that's not all that there is. And this is the entrance point, in fact, into where we are now. So you've heard, you came to this because you were wondering if there was something else, and there is something else. It's like, but that questioning of the things that are so-called normal, you start to question those, and which is a very remarkable thing. But also, it happens to you because you know there's something else. Like, you, somewhere deep inside, you know there's something else. So you have come in touch with that, whether that was by being quiet, by meditating, by praying and suddenly something happens, or by a spontaneous occurrence that just came into your life. Suddenly there was an occurrence, and that's why you are here, right? That is the reason why you actually are on this path. You recognize there's something else. Apparently, this is the time for you to take that on, to go and discover more. So this is still the area here. This is still the area of my life. A split mind, a mind that projects, that attacks, that defends. A mind that projects, attacks, has defenses, it exchanges, it believes in exchange, it has a judgment, and it's basically in its own bubble, like you can see, it's in its own bubble. And then something happens. Something happens. Suddenly, you see that you're not the only one, that you're not as imprisoned are, because suddenly you feel, say, love, you feel in forgiving someone, suddenly a connection that you haven't experienced before. And you start to recognize something. So here's the new beginning. So this is the part of the new beginning. You recognize that nobody's doing anything to you, but you actually start to recognize that you're doing all this to yourself. Like you're literally recognizing that you're the dreamer of that dream. Nobody was doing anything to you. I was just projecting guilt outside myself, and that actually came back to me. That was what was going on. It's like I was I made that bubble and everything that's occurring in it. So I don't need to judge any of the effects that I'm seeing. It is really like an opportunity to forgive myself for what I saw. It is not even really that it happened, is it? So it's like forgiveness of illusion. Healing is a thought by which two minds perceive their oneness and become glad. You recognize, in fact, you start to recognize the pain in someone else first, and see that that is not disconnected from me. No, I'm a whole part of that too. There must be a different way of doing that, a different way of looking at all this. So forgiveness, I forgive what I see, what I perceive. And I come into a different experience myself. So, and that goes on. So here I will not see, remembering who I am, here it says, remembering who I am forever an effect of God. I am forever an effect of God. I'm not a self-made man like it was in my dream, but I'm actually an effect of God. So that was the first part of the introduction.